Hello everyone, I thought I'd bring this video to you on this Saturday evening. I want to speak with you in my English accent. Now, I have a friend who lives in Manchester. I'm going to link to one of his clips, and he told me that when I did my English accent that he gave me a B+. But then when I imitated Renee Zellweger in Bridget Jones's Diary, he gave me an A-. And I must admit that Renee Zellweger does do an excellent British accent. She also had a vocal coach, which I've not, I've just listened, and pick up several inflections. Kate Winslet does a great American accent, however, she does butcher the word Paris, which I'll speak about later. But I thought I'd begin this video with an affectation, an image, a persona for you, which isn't really real, as I discuss briefly the type 3, the Enneagram 3. They're always keen on personas and projections and learning how to meld themselves into their audience in such a manner. They're very malleable in that sense, yet they're assertive type. They're an assertive type. The problem, however, comes with maintaining that accent. I can't do it for very long. I have to sit here and think about it. But going back to what I said about Kate Winslet and her American accent, she does a great job, but she does butcher the word Paris. She says constantly Paris, Paris. There's something with the English when they say these hard R sounds. They do too much. Paris, you know. So anyway, I thought, look, do you make me feel like an idiot? You really needn't bother. I already feel like an idiot most of the time anyway. That's my Renee impression. Anyway, so just being funny, even if you don't laugh. It's Saturday evening, and I just want to do a fast video on the type 3, a little bit, my observations of the type 4. Now, as I've always said, I think that generally speaking, 3s tend to irritate me, and I think most 4s probably feel somewhat similar. I can't speak for every 4, we're all individuals, right? But 3s are the masters of convention. Like when they achieve, they achieve conventionally. So, in just reading a few observations, and I'm gonna go more in depth in a later video, but I just had some things to just do on the fly, okay? When I read about the integration of the 3 goes to 6, it reminds me a lot of the 4 going to 1. So, what's interesting in the 3 goes to 6, they stop being so competitive and they realize that others have contributions too, that what can this do for the group? What can we all bring to the table? It's not just me, 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 me. So they realize that there's something greater outside themselves. And a healthy 3 is able to be with a partner romantically or any kind of friendship who is more developed than they are. Normally, I have found that all the 3s I've known, most of them have been average to unhealthy, are obnoxiously competitive. And so, like, you know, when the 4 goes to 1, the 4 realizes that it's not just their emotions in the universe, but there is something greater than myself. There's a cause, there's a religious element, there's something, you know, spiritual, political, artistic, something that is greater than just in this sphere. And again, when I speak my points of views, I want everyone to know this is a 4, I am a 4, speaking about my perspective on type 3. Now, I've known a number, no pun, of, get down Dolce, it's my cat, of unhealthy 3s. And one of the things I found that they can become extremely competitive. and also resentful of you if you're not in admiration of them. So 4s, I mean, again, I'm speaking for myself. I don't generally admire 3s because I look at their accomplishments and achievements as rather conventional. And I can recall from even like when I was a young child, I'm like, well, why would I want to do that if everyone else has? Like, literally, those were my thoughts from infants, you know, as long as I had consciousness. So it's like, and then 3, you know, works to achieve this kind of admiration, which is sort of ephemeral. And it can be difficult, I think, for the 4 to take. Now, one time I did say I knew a type 3, and I said, you know, be really, I imagine it must be nice being a 3. You know, just knowing that you're a 3 and you get up in the world and you're the best and all this. And he said, no, actually, it's very stressful, because he spoke about how he was going out one day, and I don't know if he had to do community service or whatever, but he had to go and pick up some trash. And he said, you know, it was very stressful because I knew I had to pick up so many bags of trash, and I knew I had to achieve all this. And I was like, trash? Like, literally, that wouldn't even enter my sphere. I'd be like, okay, I'm putting on my headphones and I'm daydreaming, and I'm going to think about what I'm writing and my artistic stuff, and I'm not thinking about that. Who cares about that, right? But to them, I guess, you know, can be a nonstop kind of roller coaster. So what's interesting then to talk about the unhealthy 3. So the unhealthy 3, when they go to 9, so what does that mean? I've witnessed this. A lot of times what I've seen is this unhealthy 3 that's gone to 9 is very much about having the outward titles and the outward status. So they want the house, you know, the car, the externals, something to admire them. I once knew a 3, okay? He had a neighbor of his. A neighbor's house was broken into. And he said, instead of being like, oh my God, thank God it wasn't us, you know, it could have been us, blah, blah, blah. You know what he said? He said, I don't know why they broke into their house. His house is broken into. Ours is nicer. So, like, literally, it's like he was resentful that this thief didn't want what he had. And that's the thing I found, is like, they're resentful if you don't want what they have, if you don't want to be what they are. They can kind of cop an attitude. So, like, with the unhealthy 3 gone to 9, they have the outward achievements, they got the resume, they'll put the degree on their walls, but they're lazy as shit. They cut corners, they don't show up for work, you know, or they say they're at work, or maybe they work from home and their computer's on, but they're taking a nap. I mean, they're lazy. They're lazy. Like, they're the worst part of 9. I've seen it happen. And, you know, when I have read this, I see how important it is for the 3 to go to 6, to realize it's not just about me, it's not just about what I achieve, what I do, but what can everyone else bring to the table? It's not a threat to them. Some of my experiences with 3s have involved my creativity, my writing. I work in a non-creative field, but when those coworkers or people I know find out that, you know, I'm a writer, because I don't broadcast it, but I'm not going to hide it in that sense, they get very resentful. And I had a type 3 who once was speaking to me, you know, he talked to me about literature and books, and then he was name-dropping writers, and then not only did I know the writer he was talking about, I knew of the book, and then I could tell him other books and say, well, that book is this, and that I knew more. So very quickly after that interaction, he stopped talking to me about any kind of books or writing. And I'm sure he projects it onto me saying, oh, she's this or this or this. But it was clear he didn't want my opinion. Now, from my perspective, I'm a 4-wing 5. I share my knowledge with those I feel comfortable, you know, with those with whom I feel comfortable, right? So if I like you and I feel comfortable with you, I'm going to tell you what I know. I'm going to say, oh, I read this book, I watched this film, oh, don't watch that one, this is better. Oh, did you know this about that? And then he wrote this book, blah, 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 blah. And I have like a lot of library of information in my head. I wouldn't say it's a file drawer. I definitely don't have that mindset. But I can make connections between things and among what I know. And I share that with those people I like. And so, like, from my perspective, I was giving him a gift. I was like, here, I read that, but, you know, you should read this, and this is better, and this is why. And you shouldn't really go there because blah, 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 blah. And he found that a threat. Like, he got butthurt. And it took me by surprise. I didn't know the Enneagram at the time. It took me by surprise. And I was like, why is he upset? And I thought this in my head. And I was like, we're just having a nice chat. And I'm sharing with you because I like you and I feel comfortable. And now you're getting reactive? Well, fuck you. So I don't talk to this guy anymore. You know, I'm like, and it was very clear that, I mean, I think he's a narcissist. So it was very clear he started doing the condescending thing. He would speak to me condescendingly like I was a moron. And I'm just supposed to assume this intellectual inferior role, which I am unwilling to do. That is the one thing that I will not do. Like, you condescend to me, you are dead to me. No, I'm not doing it. Like, I had my father do it to me. I had too many fucking idiots, men do this to me growing up. I've written too many fucking books. Go fuck yourself. As Chris Codina says, what does she say? Go fuck yourself sideways with a baseball bat unlubricated or some shit. You know, don't fucking condescend to me. There is no reason. I'm not an idiot. I'm talking to you as an equal, and I was speaking to him as an equal, but it was very clear that he was uncomfortable with that. He had to be the best. And I think in his environment, in this laboratory environment, he's used to being the one who knows about Solzhenitsyn. You know, he read one book. Or he's the one who read War and Peace. Yeah, I read War and Peace too, and actually it's overrated, and I can tell you reasons why. You know, or he read Virginia Woolf's To the White House, which is actually not a good book. It's actually quite puerile, filled with cliches. The dialogue is trite. No, it's not about the whole, like, consciousness thing, the sea of consciousness, or whatever it is. She's like, it's a fifth-rate James Joyce. I mean, come on, if you want something great like that, I would recommend reading Dubliners by James Joyce. But I'm not, you know, so it was very clear that he was like intimidated by what I knew. And this, at the time, it bothered me because, look at me, I'm a type 4, and here I am talking about myself, right? This is how it goes. But it bothered me because I'm like, I'm giving you something and you're shitting on me, so fuck off, you know? But, you know, I'm gonna definitely do this video again because there's a lot about the 3s, and I'm not trying to shit on all 3s, but I find that a lot of times they're welcoming towards you when it's like, oh, I can give you advice. Don't you want to be like me? And if you don't want to be like them, they resent you. Or if you don't admire them, they resent you. And one of the things that has bothered me is, like, you know, this constant, like, 3 culture in the US. It's sort of like, oh, gotta get a leg up in the company, gotta get FaceTime with this boss and this boss. And it's funny because at my job, when I work, I'm thinking, you know, I don't want to be around that person. I want to be, like, doing my own thing. I'm a 4-wing 5, so I'm, like, retreating, you know, and I'm like, I just want to think about my own stuff. I don't actively compete with people. Like, being a social subtype, I'm a social self-pres, I don't seek out competition. But if you're gonna fucking do a pissing contest or dick wave in my face, most of the time, I mean, I will withdraw if I'm forced in a position where, like, at a job and I don't want to get into this. But if you force it upon me, I'll be like, okay, put your fucking dick down, I'll put mine down. Let's see all the books you've written, you know? And that's sort of like what I've noticed. I also, you know, have worked with other type 3s. I remember I had another type 3 at a job who, again, laboratory job, and he always wanted to do, like, my job was divided up between doing like the routine sort of maintenance of maintaining in stock product and then new products. But he always wanted to do the new products because it would give him attention. It would make him look like he was an innovator, you know, it was all the image. And so a lot of times I was stuck doing the maintenance or the, you know, the routine, which I didn't mind. I realized it's part of my job. It is my job. And then at one point I remember I expressed to him, you know, I'm kind of getting tired of doing all this kind of, you know, maintenance stuff. I actually wouldn't mind doing a new product if I'd like to take on a new project. And it was like he was just shocked, like, really? You know, and very insecure little man. And I swear to God, these fucking 3s, they can be so aggravating. I mean, unless that 3 is just so healthy and so integrated to 6. When it's wonderful when they're integrated to 6. I mean, they're great to be around. They're actually more in touch with their feelings. And right here it says that 3s no longer worry about impressing others with their prestige, success, or status. And it's just refreshing. I mean, I once knew a very stressed type 3 who, she was like out of the job at the time, and she had to put all her degrees on her walls to remind her. And some 3s I've seen, they put all their like little notices, like I ran the Boston Marathon. Here's my award. It's like, I would never, as a type 4, ever think to do that. 4-wing 5. Now, I will say, again, I do have a strong 3 pull, but my 3 pull isn't conventional. I find it hard to dip into the 3 pull when it comes to just being like other people. My 3 manifests more so in image, like I like nice things, but that's also a 4 thing. I like certain like fashions and I like, you know, somewhat, I was like, I don't want to like, you know, grovel for money, but I have some image there, but I'm not like, I have to be this at this, I mean, I don't care, because for me, it's my art. So, I think the core of the type 4, their frustration with 3 is, why are they always getting the attention? Because as I've mentioned once before in my videos, I said, the 3 sees something and says, oh, I can do that, I can do it better. And the 4 says, well, why would I want to do that? I'm going to do something different. And that's exactly how I feel. I mean, I remember from when infants, like as far back as I had consciousness, not wanting to do things that others did. Even as a type 4, I didn't go around dressing in all black. You know, the stereotype, the emo stereotype of the 4, I'm going to wear all black all the time. I never did that because I remember even thinking then, well, why do I want to do that when they look like that? I mean, eventually I think I'm going to do a video on type 4 fashion, as trite as that sounds, but I think it'd be interesting because I was always very gravitated towards Stevie Nicks and her look. I loved her look, even as like a 10-year-old. I just was so enamored with it. And it's so funny because she's a 4, you know? So, okay, I know I didn't cover a whole lot. Look, how long is this? Okay, this video is getting to be about 20 minutes. I don't want to go too long. I'm going to do another section on this where I'm going to go more in depth. But again, I'm always going to tell you from my perspective. So a 4's perspective on type 3. Sort of that frustration. In some regards. I mean, I most of the time don't care, but God, the unhealthy 3 I feel like is insufferable. And then I'm going to do another video on the 8's relationship to 3's, because I have known so many 8's who cannot stand type 3's unhealthy. And again, I'm not ripping on all 3's. If you're a 3, please don't take it personally. I have nothing against the healthy 3s are wonderful. They're wonderful people. But God, this competition, I'm just not interested. I'm an individual. I don't want to compete with what you're doing because you're doing everything that everyone else has done before, and that doesn't interest me, and I'm sorry that offends you because I'm not going to admire what's already been done 10 trillion times before. So get over it, okay? All right, that's it for now. I think I'll close this video out, do my English accent once again. I thank you for listening, and I will have a second part of the Type 3, the Fool's reaction to Type 3. Thank you for listening.